Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to our daily Bible devotion. Hope you are well. We're in Mark chapter 1. In our last episode, we saw the mission of John the Baptist, which we've seen over the other three Gospels as well: Matthew, Luke, and John. Okay, and we saw that John was the one who was to prepare the way for the Lord and make his path straight. And we've sort of reflected to that how it was a normal tradition back in the day. Now, I have released the John chapter 1 series that was released this morning, so do go have a look at that, brothers and sisters. There's a lot of information on there, in-depth details and in-depth breakdowns of John chapter 1, and a lot of the stuff that we're covering in all the four Gospels, especially to do with John the Baptist and sort of the first disciples, are all covered in that John chapter 1. So do have a read of that. Very, very important information in there. So today we're continuing Mark chapter 1 from 9 to 13. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee and was baptized of John in Jordan. And straightway coming out of the water, he saw the heavens open and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him. And there came a voice from heaven saying, Thou art my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Verse 12, and immediately the Spirit driveth him into the wilderness, and he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted of Satan, and was with the wild beasts, and angels ministered to him. So I'm going to stop there. Now we're going to look at this in great detail when we read Luke and Matthew, the temptations of Jesus Christ. Matthew and Luke have the temptations of Jesus Christ, all the three temptations, and Jesus's response to that. So we're going to look at that in great detail when we look at Matthew and Luke. But as we can see with Mark, right? So Mark has all the accounts of what had happened, but it is in a summary, you could say, rather than going into great detail. Now you should see come up before you a little map. Now this is in Mark. This is available in the Bible I'm reading, which is the King James Version. As you can see there, that the sites where John frequently baptized was more near Salem, but John baptized Jesus Christ not 100%, but sort of a rough idea, you could say, was near Bethany beyond Jordan. And then you can see that into the wilderness, he goes past Jericho. So that's where you had the desert, basically. So that's where the Spirit led Jesus near Judea into the desert. And that's where Jesus was fasting for 40 days and where he was tempted after the 40 days. So after 40 days of fasting of water and food, Satan tempted him there. So you can see a rough sort of understanding. You've got Perea, and then you've got Judea, where most of this was taking